Shut up and sit down.
Sorry, dude.
Let's actually get this thing started. That's it. That's the intro, I guess. Me flying into a rage. All right. This is the first time. Jesus, this is the first time we're doing something like this. Kind of like a podcast, kind of just us doing a hangout. We're still mostly in quarantine, so it's kind of just going to be like a Google Hangout, the internet live talk thing.
That work?
Not live?
Yeah.
AKA Gcast is what we're
I
going with
guess for now, yeah. And I spent all that time on that intro. Well, I mean, it was a few hours, but then it got fucked up, so I had to do it again. So yeah, we need to call it Gcast because I'm not redoing that for a little while. We got a few things to talk about. Probably start with today's news, and then work our way away from there.
Yeah, the lead singer of Kiss just died, right?
Oh my God.
Wait, really?
No.
Gene Simmons is dead?
No.
Okay.
Jerry Stiller.
No, Richard Simmons is already dead.
I mean, the Double Rainbow guy did pass away. That was actually,
I know.
like, a huge damper. It's like saying that, like, all the Teletubbies died in a plane crash.
Dude, that was really weird because there was a double rainbow here in Rye the other day.
They showed up all over the place.
Just
Somewhere.
plane crash though, like they totally just hacked something.
What?
Hacked something? Hijacked something?
Oh, I thought you knew some, like, Teletubby jargon that I just wasn't up on.
Yeah.
You know, they jibe jack. They don't hijack. What the fuck?
Low jack.
You can't hijack if they low jack.
Mm.
Jesus, is that the tagline for this video now?
Can't hijack.
They low jack.
Up low prices, low jack. And,
all right, let's stop talking about jacking and start talking about what we actually want to talk
All right,
about.
News. Updates.
Yeah, Gene Simmons is not dead. Let's clarify that first. But this is a thing. So
aren't you gonna feel stupid though if he like just died?
God damn it, Scott.
God, you gotta shut up. You gotta shut the fuck up.
Get the.
I'm just gonna go.
Sorry, guys. This is our brand. If you're not used to it, yeah, that's
I
it.
might actually go. There are like people here.
No, stop. You stick around.
I'm useless. What do I like? I'm not taking notes. I don't have a list.
I didn't want you to take notes.
We don't have.
I won't be here for any of this. I'm busy.
Yeah.
All right.
So busy right now.
Yeah, you just ordered an Ethiopian pizza, so I mean, you need to be there when it gets delivered on one of those.
I'm just gonna
three-wheel
fucking starve
things.
tonight. I can't eat any more Chef Boyo, dude. I can't.
Dude,
please.
Chef Boyo?
Chef Boyo.
Chef Boyo! I'm gonna wait until that plane on wheels goes by. Okay, it's done. I have to do so much editing now.
Oh my God.
God damn it.
All right. So this morning.
Yes, this morning. Let's get back to actually talking about the real world. Not the show. I hate that show. Oh, God damn it. Okay. Epic showed off a demo for Unreal Engine 5. I mean, they put it in quotations, but running on PS5. It was pretty impressive. If you haven't watched it, I'm not going to show it here. If you haven't watched it yet, go watch it. It's a really cool showcase. They do a much better job of explaining what's going on than I'll ever do. And if anything, I'll just be kind of reiterating what they say in there. So yeah, we'll reference a few things that they say, but we're not going to try and reiterate everything that they went through on it. Right now, I just got the article from Kotaku up today. These are two key things, Lumen and Nanite. They called it Lumen in the land of Nanite. But Lumen, basically their lighting engine that they talk about in there, and Nanite is kind of how they refer to their triangle, polygon, all the counts that they have in there. Big takeaways. Cinema quality renders for
It's
their
fucking
assets.
gorgeous.
Yeah. That's huge. The lighting system is beautiful. So much shit running in real time that previously would have had to been canned ahead of time or pre-rendered.
or baked in or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's just the amount of things going on at once is insane.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
mute
man,
it.
I'll play the new Tomb Raider game. I'll do it.
Yeah, really.
Jump
That's
over to
exactly what
YouTube.
that looked like. Tomb
That
Raider
was the
magic.
same. Yeah, that was the vibe I got when I saw that.
We were just playing Fallen Order too, and it kind of gave me that vibe. But I mean, it speaks to the ease of working with Unreal Engine, that they can build out these tech demos so easily and so quickly. Like they literally just here. I will let the audio run, but I'm going to have it super low. I said I wasn't going to play it here, and now I'm playing it anyway. So yeah, I mean, the first thing you notice is that lighting engine just pulling through there dynamically.
Okay, here we go. Do you want to cut back a little bit, Brendan, real quick?
Yeah.
So we can take a look at when they break down into nanite here.
Yeah, when they switch over to the triangles. Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa. So you can see on the panel there, they have like obviously a free floating dev cam, but they have the ability to turn lumen on and off, as well as see kind of into nanite and see how these assets are built up and how much poly count there is. And they're mentioning, I don't know what the difference exactly is between a polygon or a pixel and a triangle, but it seemed to allude to like texture in a way, like how the texture is rendered.
Yeah, I mean, they're both tiny elements that build up to a bigger whole. Less so pixels. I mean, yes, pixels, but we're more talking about polygons when, triangles and polygons being similar. There's a reason why they're both named after shapes.
Yeah.
They also say that some of those triangles are as small as pixel.
Yeah.
Right. So
making it more defined.
I mean, there's trillions of pixels and triangles building out this image that we're looking at right now.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, at first all I saw was the screenshot of this video. I thought it was a real fucking picture of like somewhere in the world.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when they're talking about cinema quality assets and building up textures and like,
look at that ambient occlusion right there. Yeah, look at the ambient lighting.
Yeah, but also the texture that was on the wall, I mean, it looks real. I mean, the one thing, even in cinema, that's still super difficult for us to replicate as a human being, because we like know when it is or isn't, real. It's the uncanny valley. If something is slightly off, you can just tell. With this, like, the environments are going to start to look real. We've gotten really good at rendering, inorganic things, and even, I mean, a lot of animals are getting pretty close to that too, being able to render them pretty realistically. But like, challenge someone to tell the difference between this rock formation and like a photograph of something almost identical. Like, it would be hard.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, when they were talking about, using the cinema quality assets, I was reminded of like what cinema and filmmakers are doing now in terms especially The Mandalorian, which I think is even using Unreal in their production. And if you guys don't know, it's like they are, instead of using it's almost like a green screen, but it's
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
it's actually an LCD screen.
Yep.
Want to hop
with
back
a 3D tracking camera,
right?
That renders in the background as they go. Yeah.
So all of the backgrounds in Mandalorian, what the set you're actually seeing in the Mandalorian is actually built out a 4K set in Unreal, and they're using 3D tracking cameras in a gray space with a LCD screen in the back that's like displaying that render. in real time, and that's what you're seeing. So when they were talking about, so just Mandalorian looks so good. So that's immediately what I was thinking about right there. I was just like, these photoreal environments.
Yeah, well, I mean, unfortunately, the main obstacle we have to overcome with games as opposed to film and television is we got to render shit in real time. They can pre-render all that stuff for film and television, which is partly why that shit still looks so good compared to games, because they just render it out ahead of time.
Yeah, but the fact that this is happening in real time is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Can you take back to when she first enters this tomb real quick?
Yeah.
I want to talk about the bugs.
Oh, yeah.
The bugs are my favorite part. It just reminds me of the Mummy. It's
the
awesome.
scarabs.
Yeah.
Actually, like, well, the bugs are cool, but it's the technology behind the bugs, which is what I find impressive. Not as I think the bats was a little bit more impressive, but it's the same application here. Is essentially this is like a particle simulation.
Yeah.
And the particles are skinned as whatever object you need them to be, and given an animation. And they're able to be given attributes, so they're able to stay on the surface and scatter from the light. If you saw as she's shining her light around, they scatter from the light.
Yep.
And it's the same thing. I don't know if we passed the bat example yet, or we'll get to it. But at some point, there's a group of bats that is also essentially just a particle grouping that is interacting with itself. And that's really cool. And
This
I don't know if that's
part
an older
I thought was
trick.
pretty cool. How they say there's 500 of these statues, all, what do they say? Oh, yeah, over 16 billion triangles.
Yeah, they showed you close up the detail in that first statue. I'm going to ping back to that. And then they say, this detail that you're seeing here is going to be replicated like over 500 times in that next room.
Yeah. It's like with the dynamic lighting and everything, it's just wow.
Of that exact statue at the same detail level placed in this room for a total of over 16 billion triangles from statues alone.
That is some killer lighting.
Yeah. I mean, again, that's why they named the presentation after the lighting system and their new like triangle, polygon, whatever you want to call it. System.
Oh, that was the title they named this demo?
It was something with it was something with Lumen and Nanite, which are the two systems that they're really showing off here. But they've also, I mean, they've got, like we said, those particle effects with the bugs and the bats. There's other things in here. The animations with her climbing were cool.
Yeah, they're talking about the global illumination and stuff right now.
Yeah. See, that's like, dude, this looks like it's pulled out of a movie.
Yeah.
Because it's cinema quality assets, but it's running in real time.
Yeah, and what's funny is like a decade ago, filmmakers would have wanted to just do this in real life because they would have wanted it to look that real.
Yeah. And they would have spent millions of dollars building a set.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's crazy to think just like a talented, or like somebody with some skill in Unreal Engine could like do so much now.
Well, that's the ease of using this engine too, is part of why, like, they built all this just for a tech demo. And they've impressed us with tech demos in the past too, that people are like, make this into a game, and it's like,
of course, always.
Oh yeah.
See, now this
come a long way.
This reminded me of something, and when we get to talking about console specifics, this reminded me of something from a previous tech demo that I want to talk about. But I'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, very cool though.
I wonder if they composed the music for this too, just for a tech demo.
Probably.
I'm sure they do.
That's cool. I really like the portal too.
Oh, we didn't talk about the fluid effects, but they're probably using a little bit of something like that here too. When she walked through the water, those were really good fluid effects.
I meant to point that out before. I just because of the depth of the water, I feel like it should have been more disturbed as she was walking through it. But I mean, with that said, it still looked really good. But I just feel like if I don't know, have you ever walked through a puddle that's ankle deep? Like and it's like real sloshy. You know what I mean?
It does splash up a lot.
It was
Let
more
that
like
play
ripply.
again.
You want me to go back to that part?
Just let it play. Yeah, just let it like play over and over.
Trying to find the water part since we are talking about that right now. I think it's somewhere around here, but I'll just go till after they show the nanites.
Yeah.
The nanite.
Which means triangles.
Yeah, so basically, you know, Unreal is just streamlining the whole process again, bringing the ability to do cinema quality assets, 4K quality assets.
Well, the actual assets are beyond that. They're probably, you know, 8K,
right?
assets. Yeah.
They're
8K. Your display is going to be 4K, but they're built out at 8K. Which some textures in even a PS4 at this point are already like rendering around 8K, but at the loss of other textures. You know, I think of Final Fantasy VII Remake when like environmental stuff lost texture quality because they were putting so many more polygons or so much more into the character models to get them up to snuff. But you know, with more hardware power, they'll have to do that less. Again, that's what they talked about in the beginning of this video. As a developer, you're always worried about hitting those caps, and you know, you only have so much memory, you only have so much storage,
stuff down.
you can only load so much in. That's the thing that's funny about this too, though. I wanted to say, like, going into next gen, it's kind of hard for people to see the difference because so much of it, it's almost like, here comes the water. It's almost like developers have gotten too good at like tricks. Like they've been tricking us for years into thinking that shit is there that's not actually there. And now that this shit is actually there, we don't notice it as much because, like, think of any time you've had a game where there was like, it seemed like there was a long draw distance and you saw like way out, there's like a forest and there's trees, and then you get up to that forest and as you're getting close to it, it kind of like dissolves out and pops back in at maybe slightly offset. That's the pre-rendered, basically a video or a photograph file that's dissolving out as it real-time renders the actual thing in. So unless you're really paying attention to it and you notice that, you don't really realize that it's doing that. But now they can render way further out with a longer draw distance. But because they were doing that trick before, it's not as noticeable in your head when they show that live. They have to like point it out to you or demonstrate it. Like, you know, as ashamed as I am to say it, I really enjoy playing a lot of the Ghost Recon games. But like enemies will disappear at like 600 meters out when you're sniping or something. They'll be able to be further out. That's a great way to demonstrate it. Like here, now I'm making this shot at 1,000 meters. On previous hardware, we couldn't render an actual, you know, enemy.
That far,
Yeah. So, like, at the end of this, when they show the portal in the distance, that's a good way to do it because it's animated. And you can see that it's actually a real-time render at that distance out. Whereas previously, they could shoot like a lower res video file or put something out that far, but it was technically a 2D asset way out where you couldn't tell. Which is just our current extension of, you know, completely pre-rendered backgrounds like we had previous gens, you know, Final Fantasy and Resident Evil with their totally pre-rendered backgrounds so they could put more polys into their character models.
One game that comes to mind that just has a terribly low draw distance was Fallout 4. Like I just remember like looking super far out at a building or something that, you know, isn't there, but I know it's there, and then just, you know, slowly creeping up to it, and then boom, it's there, you know.
It just pops in.
Any large open world is going to have that problem. But like I say, there's tricks to get past it. I was floored by Breath of the Wild when you get up to like a vantage point in Breath of the Wild and you see all this shit, and you know it's not rendering in real time. It's running on a freaking Switch. But the way they made you believe that it is amazing. And that's like the tricks I'm talking about. You see the whole world out there and you're like, holy shit. So there's tricks to achieve it, but Bethesda's not great at those tricks. So,
No.
you know,
they're good at
example
other
of
things.
the actual hardware kind of getting in the way.
Man, that's such dynamic lighting.
So Red Dead 2, I'd say, was pretty good with their draw distance.
Yeah. Well, Rockstar's always been good at that, too. Even I remember playing GTA Online, not on 5. I remember playing GTA Online on 4 and being pretty impressed by how far out you could see other players. I was like, wow, they're actually like, that's like netcode syncing up at far distances, too.
Here we got this long vista here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, perfect example.
And see,
the character is going to traverse the whole space.
These like mountains in the back here, I think around here at this horizon, I think it might even be sooner than that. Maybe right after here or something. At some point, I'm sure they're still using that old trick of like pre-rendering in the background. I'm kind of curious to look back at this and see if like the clouds are moving and stuff. I'm sure they probably are. But like previously they would have had to start like here, like start pre-rendering into the background, like these cliffs right here, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas now they can draw way out. And then they're also, of course, throwing all these crazy physics into the mix too, that are rendering at the same time. And like, I just want to like stop and like, of course, this is YouTube compressed video. I don't think I can pump it way up on this display. It's only going to capture. It's only going to capture at 1080p. But I can at least try and bump up the quality a little bit to start with. So as we like dive in here, of course, there's going to be some motion blur too. But
like Anthem right here.
Yeah.
Anthem, yeah, totally.
But like in here, I'm just looking at the detail, like on these rope lines and stuff. These little things going
and then all
on.
these actions that are happening also in real time, like all those like little like boulders and all the stuff falling.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Definitely.
The fidelity in the landscape, though, is just what's going to be.
Yeah.
You know, like we were talking about earlier, like Tomb Raider games, and I mean, I'm thinking Halo Infinite, and God knows what else, but these games are going to look ridiculous. Like,
yeah. But I mean, we're in the. We all know how each generation we have what they like to call diminishing returns. You know, it's like harder to tell the difference as you go from one generation to the next as far as graphical differences and all that. I mean, just to totally spell it out, the difference between PS1 and PS2 was pretty friggin' huge.
Very true.
The difference between PS2 and PS3, big, but not massive. I mean, same thing jumping from Xbox to 360. And then from PS3 to PS4, 360 to Xbox One X, it wasn't as big. And I mean, we were even talking about, before we had a channel and we just talked about this shit amongst ourselves, we were talking about how the bigger differences weren't going to be graphically from PS3 to PS4, Xbox 360 to Xbox One. It was going to be more lighting, and, you know, like draw distance, textures, all that shit. Like, it wasn't going to be...
simulations.
Yeah, like we weren't going to have that major improvement of, you know, like, okay, now characters have like actually animated fingers as opposed to claw hands in GTA, you know? It wasn't going to be that, like those massive differences. And I feel like that's even more true this generational leap. It's harder to show that shit to people too, though. And this, of course, is a tech demo, which is different from showing an actual game.
Right. because this is not a game. Let's be clear. This is not a game.
This is a tech demo.
This was built to show what can be done. And let's, this is all crammed within, how long is this? Like
9 minutes?
9 minutes, and they talked for like a couple minutes before.
Yeah, so it's about like 7.
It's 8 minutes long. Yeah, it's like 7.5 minutes, something like that.
It's all crammed. This whole demo is crammed into that. So we have to think of, there's going to be more in games than just, this one space. So they have to consider, how they're going to build their games out. Even with all this stuff, it's not like, like this is just a compacted demo of everything that can be done. Doesn't mean like we're going to see this many fucking polygons and triangles in our games coming up in the future. So,
I mean, it's hard not to talk about it, but I mean, we just had the Xbox showcase too. And a lot of people weren't like crazy impressed by graphical stuff there, but that's also why it's like, it's hard to show this stuff. And those are actual games running on next gen technology. People aren't like floored by, oh my God, this looks so next gen. Part of why this looks so next gen is because, again, it's a tech demo.
Right. So, and I mean, tech demos are always blowing our minds, like we've said. So it's not,
Yeah, it's going to take a few years to have developers actually optimize to the same level that the actual people developing the engines know them inside and out. Right. But, like you say, they're bigger. Other games are expanded more. When I saw the gameplay for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, like it looked good, but with what they showed, it was kind of hard to show the new stuff that they're able to do because, again, it's not a huge leap. It's partly why people were upset that they didn't show like real gameplay like people thought they were gonna, because it honestly would have been easier to show it that way. Because, again, like one of the biggest things with next gen is going to be load times. Like you're going to be eliminating or drastically shortening load times. And that's the kind of shit we really want to see right now,
In Assassin's Creed, I can think of two things in particular that you would want to see, like, and that would be the draw distance that we're covering now. And obviously,
because they already did a great job in Odyssey with that. Yeah.
This is the Unreal Engine. Not every game is going to be built on this engine. So, especially Ubisoft, I don't think any other games run on Unreal. I'm not sure. But,
well, they like Frostbite,
right? They used to.
No, that's EA that likes Frostbite.
EA likes Frostbite. Shit, what does Ubisoft usually use?
I want to say I remember Rainbow Six Vegas and stuff, they were using a version of Unreal when they built those.
You're right.
Yeah, the Tom Clancy games did used to favor Unreal a lot.
Anyway, I take back what I said about that. But anyway, not all the games are going to be using this Unreal Engine 5.
But a lot are. I mean, during the 360 generation, what was that, Unreal Engine 3, I think? We saw like a shit ton of games built on that. Because again, it was super easy to use. Games. Yeah, but I mean, more than that. It had like it had a look to it that I like, almost like everything had like a slight transparent outline to it that I wasn't crazy about, but I was impressed by what it could do.
You knew when you were looking at an Unreal game
during that generation.
Yeah, definitely. Like a lot of the 360 arcade games were built in Unreal and stuff like that. And, like it was so obvious.
But I don't know. I suspect maybe we'll have a resurgence of that Unreal popularity with what we're seeing right now. I mean, I would love to see some of the other engines show off what they can do. I'm sure we're going to get a CryEngine tech demo because they do one every generation. Just trying to show off what they can do.
Right. And, I think we definitely need to see more demos running on the next gen hardware.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm really waiting for like the Digital Foundry, like
the tests,
comparisons and everything like that. Like once they get whatever they can test on. Because we were getting into it about how it was stated that this scene right here in particular wouldn't be possible if not on the PS5. So
I want to pull up Let me see if I can find it.
Which, as a Xbox fanboy, is hard for me to deal with, but
I just can't wait till these games come out, basically in past gen and next gen. I love seeing that comparison, that side by side. I really remember when PS4 came out, and there's games that were both on PS3, PS4. Like specifically, I remember looking forward to The Evil Within when that came out, and then seeing the kind of side by side comparisons with everything. And then it just made me want the new console even more, since everything was that much more crisp.
Yeah. Earlier today, I was thinking about, I was having a deja vu moment with The Last of Us, because I was like, I know we're getting Last of Us 5 remastered. It was like Last of Us 1 came out on PS3 right at the end of that generation. Now we're getting Last of Us 2 right at the end of this generation. And Last of Us Part 1, just The Last of Us Remastered is still like one of the best looking games on PS4 and PS4 Pro. So I can't wait to see what the remaster looks like, even though the main one hasn't even come out yet.
I agree.
So this fucking ad for Gears Tactics is fucking in the way, but this is the article I was looking at when we had our conversation earlier. PS5 SSD is, quote, far ahead of high-end PCs, Epic Games CEO says. So, yeah, Sweeney was saying that... Trying to see... massive increase in graphics performed in previous generations, which I don't know how much I would say that, but fundamental. I wanted to see where they were talking about the clock speeds, and
I just saw someone said 5 gigabytes per second.
yeah, it's 5.5 on the PS5 SSD, and it's 2.4.
Go up a little bit more. Go up to the paragraph just above the picture there, right there.
Yeah.
The PS5 puts faster mode.
Yeah, I want the actual quote.
Wow. PS4 was only 50 to 100 megabytes per second?
Mm-hmm. Dude, no, the previous gen hard drives were one thing that they totally didn't give a shit about. This is part of the change we're seeing from generation to generation here. With the stock hard drives on PS4s and Xbox Ones are not great. You kind of need to upgrade those drives to get a little bit better load times. But I mean, with the other hardware linking to the drive, you're still not getting a huge increase. That was one thing I saw in Digital Foundry that they did. They did a comparison of putting a 7200 RPM hard drive into a PS4, a hybrid drive, the Firecuda that I actually have in mind, the HDD/SSD, and then they put a full-on SSD in there. Hey, Scott's here. So they did those comparisons, and the load times were different. It depended game to game. It was weird. Some games had huge increases, others didn't have much of an increase at all. But the stock hard drives in those consoles are were obviously at the low end compared to the others. They're not fast at all. That's one thing that they're actually paying attention to this new generation. And I think it's kind of funny that it's making so much more of a difference than everyone thought it kind of would, or most people thought it would, because we've been so focused on just GPUs and teraflops and, the most graphic shit you can put on screen that, I consider myself kind of neutral when it comes to the console war, but I think Sony might have had a smart thought with thinking ahead in this and saying, we're not going to impress people because of, like I said, those diminishing returns as much with a big, powerful GPU as we will with some of the shit we can do with SSDs if we put our mind to load times and stuff. So I was trying to find the point when he says it. He was saying that this tech demo wouldn't be possible on like anywhere else except on a PS5 because, again, the title of the thing is saying far ahead of high-end PCs. So I kind of believe that, but I think it's with regard to specific parts of it.
Right.
And what I was saying is that ending part reminded me of another tech demo. The one I was thinking of was the Spider-Man tech demo that they showed early on with the PS5, and they were showing how fast it could load, and they had him just like swinging through the city.
Yes.
So they start out with load times. PS4 Pro took them 8 seconds to load in, and now next gen 0.83 seconds.
Yeah.
Whereas over here, PS4 Pro still loading, 8 seconds.
Yeah. That's huge.
So that's just a general load time. This is them like swinging through the city, or well, they're not swinging, but it's shooting through the city. Every time it obviously stutters, it needs to load in. Now, next gen, it's pretty much just
seamless.
Yeah, no stutter.
No loading, just loads it all super quickly. So
that's insane.
This is what we're talking about when I saw the end of that Unreal demo. I think that's part of what Sweeney is referring to when he says we couldn't have done this on another console, another PC, whatever, because of this proprietary Sony SSD that they're running.
Right.
But,
and I agree. I mean, on a prior generation, that would have been like Stutter Central, that would have been chug crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But what I want to know is I want to see that, like, what would the difference be on the Xbox Series 1X's or whatever the name is, like on their underclocked.
Yeah.
SSD.
I mean, just going by the numbers, it's about half as fast. But of course, as we see in like Digital Foundry tests and stuff, it doesn't always mean that the times are going to be, half as fast. Like halfway through her diving through the thing, we weren't going to hit a buffer. It probably wouldn't be that. If anything, it would be some stuff in the distance wouldn't load in as much or as fast. It all depends on how they develop it
or whatever.
But kind of what I like about this gen 2 is they've all got their own kind of advantage. People can make a consumer decision. It felt like last gen PS4 and Xbox One, everything was so similar that it was like there wasn't it was based purely pretty much off of the games library, which is always going to be one of people's first choices. But
tech was like they had weird peripherals in the beginning, and it was kind of like the peripheral war, and
now they're being a little bolder and kind of focusing on things that maybe consumers don't know that they want as much as, people have said that they think they want.
Right. And that kind of like ties back to what, our earlier discussion where I mentioned that like Microsoft might have deliberately chose to do something different because of its particular angle on its customers and stuff like that. They've always been like more open to, third-party appliances and peripherals, and I know their plan for going forward with Xbox is to have like a blanket of products for everybody. So if you're going from like game to game or console to console, I should say.
Sorry, I'm watching Scott eat. I'm trying to listen to you. I'm just watching Scott eat. Yeah, go on.
But if you're jumping through like the swath of Xbox consoles, like if you're using the whole range, and like let's say like there's a game that's optimized to that level, to the degree of that tech demo, and it can only be ran on the highest end one, then you kind of lose that like degree, that flexibility. You know what I mean? And I think that was probably a decision made deliberately.
Yes.
Because I know they want players to be able to go back and forth between the Series X and the Xbox One X and whatever they're going to do going forward. So, yeah.
Yeah, so that's where another part of our conversation was coming in. It's interesting to look at. Yeah, I think Forbes had a good article. Where the hell was it? Yeah, so I mean, this is clearly an Xbox pro Xbox article, but it does talk about something kind of interesting where it says the Xbox Series X has a good solution when its SSD gets full, the PS5 doesn't. And this is kind of what you were leading into. Like, if it's optimized for that drive, you're not going to be able to play that game off of an external because no external is going to be optimized, or no external is going to run as fast as that internal drive that you're getting with your PS5. Whereas Xbox has that proprietary expanded
Seagate,
yeah,
right? It was Seagate that developed
I think so. I can't remember who developed it for them, but yeah. That's our Discord. I wanted to show Gundam pics. Sorry, you guys got a sneak peek at the Gundam pics. Yeah, so the thing is, like, they're kind of making a sacrifice for a little bit faster speeds. You're going to have a hard choice to make when your console gets full, your PS5, your SSD gets full. You're pretty much going to have to delete stuff, or they might come up with a software side solution to quickly moving it over to an external and swapping it with the thing you want to play or whatever. But basically, if the game is optimized for that fast drive, you're either going to need to sacrifice load times or all that. I mean, it might be unplayable. Who knows? You might need to have it installed on that drive.
As far as I know, sorry to cut you off, but as far as I know, that is the situation when it comes to the Xbox with the proprietary expanded memory. If you want that Series X optimization, it has to be on that proprietary memory core, or else you're not going to be able to not be able to play it.
Right. Yeah.
So I think what's happening is just like kind of Sony has definitely like reached a higher standard, but they're kind of locking themselves there.
Yeah.
Microsoft's allowing a little more flexibility at the cost of some performance.
Yeah. I mean, also, this is technology. Any advantage you have is only temporary. Because as soon as that console drops, the nerds are going to crack it open. They're going to look at that SSD and they're going to figure out how it works. And then it'll only take them, a couple of years to release the mid-generational leap. And the Xbox, whatever console that is, will have basically the same drive in it. If not an improved version of it. But that echoes back to this generation. I'm wondering, will that be too little too late? Where they'll come out with the more powerful console, like the Xbox One X is, but like they've already fallen behind enough where it doesn't matter. People don't care that it's more powerful. They just have the console they have.
The consumer already made their choice. So
yeah, kind of. What's the other thing I was going to say? Yeah, but I mean, you also, like I said, going back to what I was saying about, like, it's nice that there's some choice in this generation. We have to remember the Xbox One X does still have an advantage on the GPU side too. So this whole loading thing is an advantage for the PS5, and maybe that'll make visually more of a difference for people, but they could also step on the gas on the Xbox side with the GPU. I mean, basically what's happening is with the Xbox machine, you can load in more right there in front of you. You can have a box of 5,000 peanuts on the Xbox One X, and then a box of 3,500 peanuts. It might not be that big of a difference, but on the PS5. But what's going to happen is if you want to swap those peanuts out for different peanuts, it will be faster on the PS5 to swap them out. But you still will only be limited to 3,500 at a time, So again, it's like specific situations. If you're stuck, if your game is developed, and again, this is optimizing. If you're developing for a game, you can stick more in one little area on the Xbox, make that more fully realized, but then moving to another area is going to be longer loading or whatever.
Right, exactly.
Whereas the PS5, you won't have as much in that one area, but as we see at the end of the tech demo, you can whoosh through different areas quickly. So that's kind of interesting that we have that difference on the consoles this generation where there's an advantage one way or the other. Like I say, PS4 and Xbox One, the original launches were so fucking similar from a hardware standpoint.
Well, and that's why I really want to I want to see the Digital Foundry tests. I want to see more stuff from Microsoft. I really think they are dropping the ball here because
it's sad to see because it happened last gen and they have a great machine. There's been nothing wrong with their hardware either generation. It's just I don't want to see it again.
At the gameplay, the third-party gameplay showcase that they did do, their best presentation was right at the beginning, and that was Dirt 5 because that gave you the best impression. It was a shitty and not very wide-scoped impression, but it gave you at least an idea of the rendering, the lighting, like some simulations, like mud and all these kinds of things, crash simulations, physics stuff like that. Whereas all these other ones were more like cinematic, in like trailers or introductions or teasers. Yeah, the Dirt 5 trailer or gameplay, whatever you want to call it, was the only thing that I felt like gave you any kind of impression of what the console was capable of doing. Maybe a little bit of the Assassin's Creed stuff, but again, there's two things that I wanted to see for Assassin's Creed, and that would have been like draw distance and like simulations, like the AI, like the interactions, the crowd interactions, stuff like that. In how much of where this is Viking territory, so I don't know where we would be, but you know what I mean, like just how much of the place, how much of the active play area is actually rendered. See some really cool dynamic lighting, like some torchlit night town would be really cool to see.
We got a little bit of that in the trailer they show with the real time fire lighting.
Could have been, it could have been more showing, I think, and more telling.
I feel like it was way more action based with what we got. They were more interested in just showing.
It was
the
artsy shots. It was like running.
And also most of us were watching it on the live stream at first, so it was fucking compressed footage too. It's hard to watch that and feel impressed. And that's coming after. I almost feel like Ubisoft kind of messed up a little bit when they released a pre-rendered trailer first, because we're going into next gen. Like, it sets up an expectation, and then you see gameplay, and obviously pre-rendered isn't going to look as good.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know why they always make great pre-rendered trailers. Don't get me wrong; they're awesome.
Ubisoft.
But I don't know.
But getting into the whole tech demo and the capability of the PS5's SSD versus what the Xbox will be capable of, it really makes me think about my favorite franchise of gaming, and that's Halo. And shit, I have my 50% fucking battery, so I'm gonna have to get a fucking charger. So, but getting back to what I was gonna say about Halo, was Halo so we're talking about this Unreal Engine and how its render capabilities are only enabled by the PS5's faster SSD, and that immediately makes me think of Halo Infinite and how that's supposed to be essentially open world, and supposedly not confirmed, but it's rumored that you can essentially roam the entire ring. So that really makes me think of how the Xbox is handling that, how 343 is handling that and optimizing that. And obviously we're going to get load spaces and blocks of, load time. You're going to have spaces where the game is going to load as you continue through the ring, I'm sure. But what. want to see it. I want to see it in game. I want to see it rendered. I want to see how far you can see before the pre-rendered skybox kicks in, and you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, despite this difference in SSD speed or hard drive speed, the generational leap is still there on both consoles. It's going to be impressive on both. Again, maybe the graphical leap won't be the biggest part of this. It might be load times and that type of stuff.
Right.
But it's going to be an improvement on both consoles. So we're still going to be impressed by if we have an open world Halo and you're moving from one area to another. It's still going to be way faster than it would have been on a current gen console.
Yeah, let's. Both consoles are getting SSD upgrades as opposed to their past gen.
Honestly, I feel like that should have happened on the mid-gen leaps this generation. But yeah, they should have got SSDs in those at that point. The prices on SSDs had dropped significantly by that point. They're even lower now, but yeah, because the load time, I don't want to see the statistic of how much of my life I've spent in load times. It's like when they tell you spend half of your life asleep. Like, I don't want to know that. I probably only lived a quarter of my life because half of it was asleep and a quarter of it was in fucking game load times. Jesus.
Just waiting.
So that's why I'm super excited for the load time thing. Because no more of my life.
And, dude, don't get me wrong. Like, those, like, if they're anything like the Spider-Man tech demo load times,
yeah,
you know, that is crazy. And, like, I mean, you know, I won't even if on an Xbox it takes a second longer than that, you know, that's still gonna hurt. Like, and it's, you know.
Yeah, it's going to hurt, but only for the people that are like hardcore, you know, the people that actually look at graphics comparisons and zoom in on the image, even though they know when they're actually playing it, they're not going to fucking notice that.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing. If I'm like seeing it side by side, it's going to make me upset. But if I am just playing it, I don't think I'm going to notice or care, especially if I'm playing my favorite game on my favorite console. Which I think, you know, comes back to the games, really. Like, it doesn't matter what the tech demo can do as long as, like, the developers make the games and optimize them for the technology. So,
and it goes back to kind of what Brendan was saying too. It's like these developers have these tricks to make things work. So even though, say on Xbox, you know, they can't do the same thing that they can do on the PlayStation system, but you know, our developers they're very, very, you know, good at what they do, and they'll make that work, and it can be seamless, and you can have the best Halo experience that you can have, right? You know? And at the end of the day, it's all going to come down to, you know, that games library. I mean, most of the people that are not, you know, they play games, they're not too up to date on the technology side of things. They just want to play their favorite game. That's what console that they're going to pick at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, it really ultimately, because they are similar, the hardware is so similar, it's going to be flexing on Sony. Sorry, I didn't know that was in that video. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, it's going to come down to the games library. That's what everyone cares about the most.
Oh, God damn, I just ate a whole pizza.
I know. I watched you do it. I watched you do
recorded
most of it.
We all watched
That's true.
him do it.
We all saw you do it.
I got this crunk goblet I just got.
I'm happy for you, Scott.
I'm glad you're here.
The life now.
Yeah, living the life.
But I mean, these tech demos and shit is part of how they sell their games too, or sell their consoles to developers. So, I mean, it's, I guess, I don't know. It's hard to, it's like court of public opinion and shit with some of this stuff too. Like talking about the missteps that Xbox has made early on last gen and now this gen too. And like I say, I'm not tripping on
their shoelaces.
Yeah, I'm not a fan one way or the other of either generation, or I keep saying generation, either console, or either platform. I'm not really a fan either one way or the other. So I want to see them both do well. if for no other reason, because competition breeds, innovation. And I want to see Xbox, catch up to the hard drive thing. I want to see them put a more powerful GPU in the next version of whatever PlayStation comes out, and fight back and forth. But if you have, like, this generation, if you have the library of games that Sony has at the moment, it's kind of hard to spur that competition. I lost my train of thought. Somebody else tell me what I'm thinking.
What is the catalog of games we got? Like, what can we expect in the initial launch of these consoles in terms of
much? Honestly. Who's screaming?
Sorry to interrupt, but was Pokemon Snapchat today?
Yeah, it went up today.
Nice.
Is that what everyone's screaming about?
What's a better title?
Pokemon Snapchat?
Yeah, I thought of it earlier.
I'm going to change it right now.
Speaking of games library, though, isn't a lot of people's decisions made up on what console they're getting because of backwards compatibility, though?
I know what I'm getting. I'm going to get an Xbox One.
Yeah. Good for you.
Thanks.
You should get another Sega Genesis since I have yours.
I heard you have two.
You have two?
You have both of them, I think.
I have two Sega Genesises? Genesi? I don't know.
Genesis.
I need that and my N64 and Colin's PlayStation 2 back.
Oh shit, you still have that.
Jesus.
Well, Brendan has it now.
Do I? I don't know what I have, dude. I've got a box. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, it's got my N64, the PS2, my Sega Genesis.
Dude, I'm trying to remember what happened to my PSP.
And all the games.
I don't even know.
That's at my mom's apartment.
No shit.
Yeah, I left that there.
I sold my PSP.
Old school,
I got my
man.
Super Nintendo right down here.
Yeah, right down here.
Hell yeah.
I thought you were like trying to do like one of these. Like, I got it right down here. Like, yeah, look.
I got it right here.
Yeah, fuck you. Hate you.
Oh, right down here.
Shit.
Remember UMDs? Those are cool.
Oh, dude, that's what I'm talking about, though. Like, no more proprietary shit like that. Like weird stuff. Sony's been the worst with it. Like during that whole period of PSP and PS3, they're like, oh, we made our own cell architecture on the processor on the PS3, and look at these dumbass things we made for our handheld console. And everyone was like, why are you doing that? But I don't know.
It's like you took a GameCube disc and threw it in a freaking holder.
Yeah, tried to keep it away from us. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Oh,
and it was like, it was almost like it was meant to protect it, but it really didn't do anything. I'm pretty sure I broke a couple of UMDs.
Oh, yeah. Oh, but you can get movies.
I feel like it was a
too.
throwback to floppy disks, and I could appreciate that.
Nice.
I think you appreciate anything floppy.
God.
Floppy dicks.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Bob, you're glad you're.
Is that what you were thinking?
Yeah. What were we talking about?
Floppy dicks.
No, before that.
We're
talking about the games lineup for the
games but cross compatibility of games. So like, I got a bunch of PS4
backwards
games. I'm gonna play on PS5 and play them on my PS5.
See, but that's also like the trickle of information that they give us, because we found out like when Mark Cerny was like, yeah, over 100 games will be, or about 100 games, whatever. He said 100 games, and it was either over, under, or right around, will be backwards compatible at launch. And we were like, what? Like we thought by backwards compatible, you meant like backwards compatible. Like I could put in a previous gen game and it would play it.
They didn't mean backwards compatible.
They meant backwards semi-compatible. Is basically what they meant.
So it's gonna be like Xbox One, where they like keep updating like the library.
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of like that. The problem was that again, this new console runs so much faster that if you just pop it in, it's not gonna run smoothly. Apparently, but I mean, we kind of thought they would be sorting that out. I don't know. So it's like, people were kind of disappointed by that, but it still is a factor that we didn't have last gen for both consoles. Mainly because, like I said, that PS3 proprietary architecture that they built out was stupid as hell. It was powerful, but no one knew how to friggin' develop. Hi, I'm here. No one knew how to friggin' develop for it. They like I heard they got sent like a big brick manual with their dev kits, and it was like, dad sitting around the cradle trying to build the thing and looking at the IKEA instructions and being like, where the fuck does BC go?
Like trying to on that note, my laptop is about to die. I'm at 1% milk, so I'm gonna go.
Love you.
All right, we'll see you again soon. Yeah, so I mean, the backwards compatibility thing is a factor now that it wasn't before. I mean, Xbox One had 360, but that's because they didn't. Xbox One plays 360 and original Xbox games too?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah, so they had that advantage last gen that PlayStation didn't. Now going into this gen, they both have that advantage. At least going back one gen. I think Series X is going to play Xbox Series X games, obviously, Xbox One, 360, and the original Xbox.
See, for me though, not that I don't care about backwards compatibility, but like I'm looking forward to what's next. Like I'm getting the Xbox because of Halo, and it's what it's going to be doing next. So.
But don't you want to play your Master Chief collection on your Xbox?
Yeah, and I was going to say, like, I do care about backwards compatibility because I have a ton of PS4 games that I fucking love that I like. I mean, I could just hang on to my PS4, and
which you're probably going to do anyway.
I'm going to do that anyway.
Exactly.
Consoles, but having that capability on a PS5
I just don't think it's like, I mean, like for the PS5, I mean it's good. Like, I don't know. It's like not that it's not important, but it's it's something that I haven't had to like worry about. So it's like
also it's almost like you could use it as another form of storage, like going back to the whole thing with the storage for the PS5, like I'd have a whole other console. Let's say there's a PS4, a random PS4 game that I want to play that I never got before the PS5 came out, and all my storage is taken up on my PS4. I could then play it on the PS5. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a weird scenario.
It's a weird scenario, and I mean, Microsoft's got you beat in that sense because they're almost designing their whole brand to play your game anywhere on any Xbox console. You know what I mean? Like,
true.
Like,
yeah, you would basically just be keeping your PS4 so you don't have to install PS4 games on your PS5. Which is going to
be a problem whether you have the backwards compatibility or not because of your SSD situation. So yeah, but that also brings to mind too, like their backwards compatibility issue is largely because the console is faster. But if you're playing a PS4 game off an external, like how is that going to work? Right. I don't know. That we're just going to have to wait and see on, or wait until they tell us. Right. Exactly.
But I mean, I don't know. I think this gen backwards compatibility is pretty big. I think it's almost echoing back to PS1 to PS2, because a lot of people bought PS4s this generation, and they have those games, and they might be willing to hawk their PS4 to take a chunk of the price out of their PS5 while not abandoning their games.
Feel like we talk about it every console generation in a sense, backwards compatibility.
I don't think it's as big a factor as people make it out to be. But I do think it still is a factor.
Yeah.
It's definitely a factor for me because there's some games that I absolutely love that I have for my PS4, and I got so many damn remakes
Mhm.
my PS4. So,
I bought more
it's not like
games
I'm
this
saying-
gen than any other. But go ahead.
It's not that I'm saying like that backwards compatibility isn't important, that you shouldn't be able to play your catalog of games, obviously, but I think for this generation, I mean, it should be almost expected, is what I'm trying to say. Backwards compatibility at this point. You should, and so what we should be focusing on is like, the amount of polygons and all the what that tech demo flexed on. You know what I mean? So
what makes next gen? That's what
Right,
we should be
exactly.
worried about.
exactly.
But that's what I'm saying too. I don't think it's what people have traditionally thought about with next gen. I think it's a little different this time of year. But that's like kind of what you're saying. That's what they need to flex on, the stuff that's new that people didn't even realize was what they wanted. That's going to be the major thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, that's more of what.
To be like, you can buy a PS5 just to play your PS4 games. That sounds like a bad marketing strategy. But like,
it definitely is.
It's a plus, though.
No, dude, I'm not saying it's not a plus. Obviously, you want the machine you're buying that's better than your old machine.
Yeah.
To do all the things your old machine did.
Right.
But more.
I'm also thinking about how many people bought PS4s in the early times just so they could use it as a Netflix machine too, though. So they're not going to market it that way, but a lot of people will friggin' do that without even, realizing that's what they're doing at first.
I mean, that's the huge point of the PS3 selling position, was like, hey, this is a Blu-ray player, but cheaper.
Dude, the PS2 was a DVD player that was cheaper than DVD players at the time.
Yeah.
Wow. Sony has a trend of that's funny.
Yeah.
But I mean,
not this time though.
No, definitely not. We're gonna see what the what the first party developers can do with that shit. But I want to see really what the developers can do with each machine.
Yeah.
I want to see I want to see Halo, and I want to see like God of War, pretty much, like on station, like that. Those are like the things I want to see and compare and talk about. And
I want to see The Last of Us 2 remastered.
Yeah, that's less down the list. That was more of just a deja vu
generation moment. And just wait for the remaster.
No. I mean, it's already been spoiled once. The odds of it being spoiled for you again are pretty high if you wait on it. Yeah. I'm thinking more of like, again, Bobby, you've been playing Horizon. We know they're coming out with another one.
I do
PS5.
know that. They plan on making a trilogy, actually. That was unofficially announced, but it's known.
And Guerrilla's been working with Sony hardware for a while too, so
yeah, I could totally see that being a announcement.
All right, well, we're pretty much wrapping up this section. When we come back, we're going to talk about other things. How exciting is that?
So exciting.
We're back. After a little intermission. I've put on a sweatshirt because it's getting chilly down here. It's getting cold.
And
despite being hot today.
Stuff.
Oh yeah, Greg got boxes in the meantime. We weren't going that long. Oh, you didn't get your box yet. All right.
No, god damn it.
All right.
A bottle of primer, bottle of Mr. Super Clear gloss.
Yeah, that's what I need to order. Shit, I need gloss still. You can't even lift it. Oh yeah. Airbrush compressor.
And I was really worried it didn't have a hose in here, but it does.
Oh, it's got hose?
It's got plenty of hose.
All right, good. That's all right. We've already hit our quota for dumb jokes now.
Great.
Okay. So, yeah, it's funny. You guys were actually talking about something that's going to lead us into our next gaming topic. Not as big as our first gaming topic, which was, massive, influencing the entirety of next gen. In this case, though, we're just talking about this little announcement. So yeah, Tony Hawk's 1 and 2 are getting remakes. Normally not something I would follow super closely, but it's had kind of a big ripple throughout popular culture. I think a lot of people have a lot of nostalgia for these games. I mean, I do myself. Oh, yeah. Colin was talking about before we came back on to record, playing it on my N64 back in the day, 1 and 2.
Back in the day, in between battles in Jet Force Gemini.
Yeah. I didn't have nearly as many N64 games as I have PS4 games, but still a good selection. So yeah, remakes. A lot of people are really excited for this. I feel like it's a lot of people that played the originals that are not huge, like hardcore gamers now that are just hearing about this and going back to it. I've seen people on my like Facebook, Instagram, whatever, that aren't big gamers that I know. They were like, "Oh my god, I remember these games. I can't wait to go back and play this." I saw someone even say like, "I'm gonna buy a current gen console so I can play these remakes." Yeah, just so I can play these remakes.
Nostalgia, man.
What they may not be aware of is the elephant in the room, which is our most recent Tony Hawk game, 5, which is a few years ago now. But that was, a lot of people had issues with that, and rightfully so. You guys remember what happened with that?
I actually never looked into it at all. So I don't even know what was good or bad about it.
Everything was bad about it.
Kind of won the market. That's why.
I wanted a new skate. No. That's all I cared about.
Yeah, well, they released Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and I'm pretty sure it was 5, whatever it was, the most recent entry.
You're right.
They released it right at the end of their window for the copyright, like the rights to it were like about to expire, and they just needed to put a game out, and they basically just shit out a game. Like it was not good. And especially when you're dealing with a franchise like this that has like a lineage that people respect, that's kind of a shitty move.
Yeah,
I felt like they kind of like were starting to go downhill before that.
Well, you remember Tony Hawk Ride, dude?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there was that. The last one I really kind of played was, what was it, Project 8 that came out?
Yeah, that wasn't that good either.
Xbox 360.
Was that the one that came with the peripheral, the board peripheral?
Yeah.
So here we go. Look at these beautiful numbers.
1.4.
Mm-hmm. 1.4 and 32.
Ooh. 32.
So this left a bad taste in our mouths. It's the developers listed as Robomodo. That is not who's developing or handling the remakes. So there's at least that there. Although I don't want to, throw too much dirt on these guys because it was under the gun, developing this before. Like, you got to get it out before we lose the rights to it,
Developing this.
Yeah.
So Activision. Yeah. Okay.
Well,
so
I don't know.
What was bad about it, though?
It was just a half baked. I mean, it's let's look at Game Informer was pretty nice about it and gave him a friggin' 65.
They paid him.
Careful. Let me see the critic reviews here. Game Informer, Yahoo, CG, God is Geek, PS4, Gamer Hardcore. IGN gave it a 35. I'm looking for somebody. Let's look at GameSpots. So, just because I don't want to spend too much time on this one, I'm trying to see if they have like a positives and negatives at the bottom, but it doesn't look like they do. They might have a summation at the top.
Speaking of GameSpot and in the history with the Tony Hawk franchise, wasn't Pro Skater 2 one of the few games to get a 10 on their website?
Yeah. And they're not the only ones. There's a few outlets that gave 2 specifically, like 10 out of 10. So, I mean, this pretty much sums it up. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 is a full price game that feels like an alpha release. The core mechanics are there, but the supporting systems are half baked and rickety. Which, I mean, you could go into more detail on that and tell you exactly what the issues are, but I mean, that's really, again, just a byproduct of pushing out a game to meet a copyright deadline.
Yeah, unfortunately, all too common nowadays.
Yeah. So I think they know they need to not do that again. I don't think this article says who's developing it, but I was saying, because you guys were saying that it is pretty sure it's the same developer.
What was it? The one with the eye, right?
Neversoft?
Neversoft.
Well, they're the owners. They're the copyright holders, but the ones actually developing the remake.
You said it was the
same people that did the Insane trilogy. It even says it here on this Verge article, but I don't get the name on it yet. Here we go. Remaster is being handled by Vicarious Visions, which has some history both with the Skate franchise and remaking games. Both of the studio's earlier projects were surprisingly excellent portable versions of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, while more recently the developer released the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy, also a remaster of PlayStation-era classics. And we have a quote here from Vicarious Visions Chief Operational Officer. What were you going to say?
Vicarious Visions also has involvement with Destiny. They handled a lot of Destiny's like post-release content.
Yeah, they're one of those studios that seems to specialize in, you know, like secondary work.
Yeah, like assisting a main studio kind of thing.
Remasters, additional content. And they did, back in the day, they did all the like Game Boy Advance versions of the Tony Hawk games that were released back then. So even back when the original Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 came out, they were working on the Game Boy Advance versions of those games.
Crazy.
So they've just been partners with the franchise for so long, so technically it should be in good hands then.
Yeah, I would say technically. I mean, their track record is good, not great.
Yeah.
If you go on to Metacritic, I have a typo in there, but it'll be smarter than I. So their profile, let's see, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 to be determined, but Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, which was pretty well received.
Seeing a whole lot of green.
Yeah, I mean, this is more recently. Well, this is more recently. When you go back into some of their other history, you see more yellow. But
a red.
Not that that's like a huge
3
thing.
That's Spider-Man 2? What the fuck is that?
Unforgivable.
Oh, it's on PSP.
They didn't do a good job with the That's So Raven game. Unforgivable.
What?
How dare they?
Yeah, even Tony Hawk's Underground, those Game Boy Advance games, they did those too. So, yeah, they have familiarity with the franchise, they have familiarity with remakes, and as long as they don't put them under undue pressure, I think, yeah, it should be in pretty good hands.
Yeah, the trailer looked great. I really enjoyed seeing all the iconic places to skate, like, recreated.
Hangar, man. That's what it's
a hangar.
Everyone, that's been like the headlines. Everyone's like, Hangar's back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The hangar and the school, definitely two classic locations for me. So,
yeah. One of the things I was saying ahead of time too that I thought was going to be weird, like, yeah, it's going to have the nostalgia for older players and stuff, but like, it's got. They even say in the trailer they're like legendary skaters, and it's like, how relevant are they to like younger kids and stuff? Like, Is it going to sell to the younger audiences too, or is it just going to be all of us who played the originals?
I think we're the core audience for the remake.
Sure.
Like that's
yeah, but people are also looking for the next Skate game. Like they're looking for that. They want Skate 4. Skate 4 is not coming.
Yeah.
Like, but there's that other game that is like around called Session.
Oh yeah, that's only for Xbox though.
But I think, and I don't see why Vicarious Visions can't include all those legendary older skaters and also include more contemporary modern skaters as well.
Well,
that could be eventual DLC that they could add to it.
Like what? What do you mean? I just think they're like character models and stuff. I mean, maybe like there's like story. Yeah, like story. You guys are referring to like the story parts, right? So. Well,
no, they had different. To borrow a fighting game term, they had different move sets. In 1 and 2, they all had their signature moves, or for the like more common moves, they had like a set. One guy would have a hard flip and the other guy would have a kick flip for the same input. But then you would only have like Tony Hawk would have the 900. Chad Muska had the didn't he have the ghost slide? What was the dark slide?
Yeah, dark slide. Yeah, I think you're right about
that. And then who had the Christ Air? Was that Bucky, or was that Bucky Lasik? Lasik had the Christ Air. I don't remember. It's been way too long, and I'm not really that into skating. This is all purely coming out of my adolescent mind's recovery drives. But yeah, so like if they add new skaters, they need to add at least new signature moves or whatever. And like, I don't know, then are you preserving the original? You get into a whole thing. Like, are they going to keep the physics all the same and stuff? Like, are they going to try and update the physics, or is it still going to be the same play exactly the same way, just look much better? Which from the gameplay we've seen so far is what it looks like. But
when... I'm not too. It was a long time ago that I played the game, and I don't remember much of it at all. But like the way you phrased it, like one person has a kickflip and the other has a hard flip.
Yeah.
For the same input, which is like,
I think it would be kickflip and heel flip.
Shut up, Bobby.
Like, fuck. I'm losing my train of thought, but yeah, I don't know how they would like diverge from that if they, you know what I mean, while preserving the original game, because nowadays, like maybe in the 90s, like doing a hard flip was really impressive, but now like everybody does fucking hard flips. So like,
hard flips are hard though.
That's but there definitely shouldn't be the same button input as a kickflip.
That's why I was correcting you guys and saying I think it would be heel flip and kick flip, and the reason why the button input will be the same is because it depends on what the skater's stance is, if they're goofy or regular.
Is that how the game played, or is that just what you're saying, though?
No, that's how the game played.
Oh, okay.
That's how Skate played as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. But it sounds like with the signature moves and stuff, like you can't really have like a skate system. Like, I don't know.
I mean, it's really just how in depth or how intense they're going to go with this like remake
and the character
thing. Again, we're seeing a lot of. Oh, I fucking love this game. We're seeing a lot more remakes now than remasters, like where they're taking liberties and changing things around, and it is a matter of like, are we going to keep doing that, or are they going to do that with this game, or just update visuals and keep everything else exactly the same as what it was, which turns into a debate too of preference, because some people want one or the other. Like, don't fuck with my memories. I want to play this game just beautiful.
That's what I would want, personally.
Yeah. And I think that's what they're leaning towards. Oh, wait. I think that's it. Is that it?
So, remake or reimagine?
Yeah!
That's the debate.
Where am I? I remember the big case was here with all the
It is.
all the games in it. Scott's case, actually. Yeah.
Scott's case of games.
I was like, it's going to be easy to find because I know he has the first one in this box and it's blue.
It's fucking blue, yeah.
And the other
gray.
2 is yellow. I don't know if he has 2.
You know what was the
I
the
have 2 somewhere.
N64 cartridge for me? Was on Zelda Majora's Mask had that sweet holographic on it.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. The gold. Yeah.
So sick.
True. The box for that thing was also super shiny.
Yeah, it was a gold cartridge with the holographic thing, and then the box too. I kept a lot of boxes from my N64 games.
If we're gonna be talking about cool looking cartridges, this was my favorite one.
Oh,
Let's
is that
play
Carnage? What game is that?
It's Maximum Carnage.
But it's a Spider-Man game where you play as Carnage? Yeah. Oh, that's sick. Carnage was one of my favorite characters, and I never played that.
Focus. It's not focusing. You can't read it.
Isn't the next Venom movie gonna have Carnage in it?
Supposedly. I think he's already cast, actually.
I'm eating chicken nuggets off screen, but what do you guys think about Woody Harrelson being the next fucking Carnage?
Wait, what? Oh, yeah, what? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Go either way.
I'm pretty sure he has like a wig. I don't know. It looked weird. I don't know.
Nothing against Woody Harrelson, but I think he's a little old for the character.
Yeah.
What's the guy's name that turns into Carnage? Because he's like a fucking serial killer. He's a younger guy. Cletus Cassidy.
Mm-hmm.
Cletus.
Cletus.
Assuming that's the incarnation that they go with. Here's a little
Wiki
Wikipedia for you. Yeah. So yeah, Cletus Cassidy.
Carnage was definitely one of my favorite characters in the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, he was just like a really edgy. Did I really just spell it like that?
Yeah, you did.
The magic of editing.
See, we even got set photos of Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's weird, right? His hair. What's the deal with the hair?
He looks like a clown with no makeup.
He has curly red hair, but it's not like that. And I mean, he's a bonkers, crazy character. I mean, this is a little closer to kind of what.
Yeah, that's you can tell that's
the vibe they're going for right there.
Yeah.
That's like the Joker with no makeup.
Well, I guess they wanted to also make sure it didn't look exactly like the fucking Joker, like that picture.
Yeah.
But I mean, dude, the thing that's like make or break for these movies isn't really what the actor visually. I mean, isn't what the actors look like out of costume. It's what they look like in costume. And True. Carnage is going to be hard to pull off.
He's very dynamic.
Yeah, like Venom has a lot of symbiote shit going on, but Carnage just always has like
he's always like more unstable.
Shit
His
around
form
him.
is always moving. Yeah,
yeah, tentacles and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, these are the kinds of
Just
pictures
awesome.
I remember. Straight from freaking Wikipedia. Yeah, I mean, just gnarly stuff. How did we get from Tony Hawk to this?
Because you pulled out your Tony Hawk cartridge, and we were talking about cool cartridges, and I pulled out my cool cartridge.
Yeah, I showed you mine, and you showed me yours.
All right, friends. I gotta get going soon, so should we?
Permanently?
Kind of.
Okay.
That
well,
sucks.
then let's skip over any other shit, and let's just talk about 30-minute missions, what we're doing with those.
Let's do it. Yep. So we've talked about it in a couple other videos, but we're doing a G-Sides group build off with 30-minute missions kits. So I know Brendan just got his stuff in. Everybody's getting their stuff together, and we're all getting ready and ramping up for the builds. So we figured we would make like an official announcement here.
Yeah. So who's participating? We've got pretty much everyone. Is Scott on board too?
Scott, I believe, is on board. He hasn't acquired his stuff yet, but
I'd say he's on board in spirit.
Yes. Which he is in most things in life, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. But no, I'm hoping he'll acquire his kit. But aside from that, the four of us are all in, are all either have our stuff or are waiting for our stuff within the week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we're looking to finish this up by, I don't know, the end of summer.
Yeah.
And yeah, it should be pretty cool. Everybody will have like a different 30-minute mission build. So we'll have 4, maybe 5 custom 30-minute mission builds to share with you guys. I think that'll be really cool.
And some of us are noobs at the whole building of models. Some of us, I believe, just me. Or Brendan, have you made any models yet? Or have you?
Yeah.
Snapped a couple stuff up and painted the Leo. And
yeah, I definitely don't have as much experience, but I've done some stuff before. I don't know. I think this is going to be like an amalgamation of things I've done before, just kind of putting it all into one thing. But I like our spread. We pretty much all have what we're doing set out at this point. We have all the components. And I mean, Bobby, you say you're new at it, but I kind of like the fact that you have like the ground level kit. And you're going to be building like the base of it. And then like you move up a little bit in complexity to like, say, mine, I guess, would be next, where I'm building the same kit, but adding a couple of option sets. Mm-hmm. And then you move up again to like Colin and Greg have gotten like specialty versions. One was the space type and the other is the marine type. And then Greg, you got like an option set with your marine type, right?
I did, yeah. I picked up an option set just to add some bits and bobs to the build. Nothing crazy. If my main reason actually was to get the option set wasn't even for like the main suit itself, but it was for the little like Roy support unit that comes with it. So that will appear more different than anything else out of my build. Yeah,
I thought your idea was cool with the Roy and then the torpedo things that came in the option set.
Yeah, I have it like prop. If you want me to grab it, I can grab it real quick. All it's good to go. So
all right,
awesome.
And then Colin, did you get any option sets or anything, or are you building just the space type?
I didn't grab any of the option sets or anything. I actually I'm waiting for it to come. I just got a piece of plot plate, which is just an extra kind of sheet of styrene. Yeah. So I was just going to be just adding a couple details and stuff to like the backpack or, I'm kind of still working at it, but that's mainly what I'm going to do in terms of the customization side of things.
Cool. Yeah. So we've got like a good variety of stuff. Yeah. Show us that thingy.
So basically,
idea.
This is the Roy normally has like the little claw legs, like 4 legs. And I took these torpedo pods off the option set as well as the connector. And then I had a little extra booster that I threw on the back there as well. Just for a little more like propulsion look. But yeah, basically, that was the look I was going for. It required a little bit of modding to actually get it to like fit in the base. So I had to like chop off the connection point from the legs and glue it all together, but it works good.
I like it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I kind of just wish the torpedo pods were like more centered instead of like forward, but that's a lot of modding that I don't want to do, so I'm just gonna rock with it. And
I think it looks great.
I like it a lot. Cool. yeah, it just adds a little more like pizzazz, I guess, to the Roy.
Makes it a real marine type, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of useless to have those like spider legs, you know.
Yeah,
if it's going to be mainly a submersible.
So this was the option set you got, right?
Correct.
And it's these two guys here that you repurposed. Correct. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yep, and then you see the towards the right hand side, the like 4-pronged like connection piece right to the left. One more.
Oh, these?
No, up. Those are like smoke things.
Oh, these.
Yeah, those things. So I took those and used that as the junction point. And I just like clipped one of those pegs off and replaced it with like the connection piece from the little Roy to actually get it to fit.
Gotcha.
Well, yeah, that was the mod. It was pretty simple. Just a plastic saw and and you could have done it with a hobby knife easy. Like a sharp hobby knife would have easily done what I did.
Mm-hmm.
And some sandpaper and some cement.
Yeah, see, they used it here like a missile launcher kind of thing, which I guess is what's, intended. But again, working with the, what are they, 3mm pegs?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can like just have so much freedom of where you want to put them. Yeah.
Even so, on this picture here, they have the side skirts. There, those were also in the option set. I used those. I used one of them in a totally different regard. To kind of add more mass to the weapon that my suit came with. So,
yeah, your suit came with.
Yep.
So you're not using this. This is part of the option set, right?
No, that's just the standard Alto rifle.
Oh, that is? Okay. Yeah. It was black, so I just assumed it was
No, but those like ankle parts, the little booster pack on the thigh there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, and I mean, dude, this just goes to show you how awesome 30-minute mission line is, and I hope will continue to be, because like you were saying, like Bobby is just starting with like the base model kit, but like he could at any point get any of the things we talked about and like make his own thing whenever. Yeah. Like
there's all the hard points on these things. It's so easy to make a custom.
Yeah. And it's easier to swap in and out than like a custom gunpla where you're planning it and you're kind of locking it down into that design. Like even from a custom gunpla standpoint, you get various packs or extra additional kits to make up your design. You're kind of like, once you get that stuff, you're like, okay, that's it. But with this line of stuff, it's like, oh, something new comes out, I'm just going to grab it and I can use it however I want. Like, that's really cool to me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, we echoed some of those notions in the couple of videos for 30-minute missions that we've done so far. So if you haven't seen those, go watch those. We tried to beat the tagline, the time of 30-minute missions. We were like, we have to build these in under 30 minutes, which we had mixed success with.
Oh yeah.
But it was really fun.
Well, it's really fun.
And yeah, we had some like initial impressions in those videos, because that was, I don't know about you guys, that was my first time touching any of those kits, right?
Yeah, same. That first video was the first time, building a 30-minute mission kit. Second time was the second, and I've built like 3 or 4 at this point. So
cool.
Yeah.
I've built 2, and both times I opened them up, I was like, wow. That Bandai plastic.
You love
amazing.
that plastic,
so, it's something else, man.
Yeah.
Something else.
It's definitely like the highest quality plastic on the market.
Yeah, especially like when I built recently, for like some of my pictures and stuff on Instagram, I built some old like N scale train kind of buildings and model kits, and those are really old tech. Those ones are, I think they were manufactured in the 80s or something like that, like 85 or something like. So going from that to these 30-minute missions kits, I was just like, wow, the technology has come just so far.
And I mean, Brendan, your build looks really freaking cool too for your 30-minute mission.
You don't even know what I'm going to do yet. I have no idea what I'm going to do.
I know what you got, and I can imagine in my mind, like...
Yeah, I'm basing the color scheme off of something I actually did. This is going to sound so fucking weird. So I was playing Code Vein, the anime Dark Souls game.
Yeah.
And the character creator in that game is ridiculous, particularly in all the friggin' colors that they give you to play with. And I just stumbled across this like muted tan mixed with like a metallic blue color scheme. So I was like, I'm totally going to copy that with what I'm doing. So yeah, I got the X13 Tamiya metallic blue. Beautiful. And I'm combining that with, that's for my metal parts. I was back and forth, and I think I'm going to mix them, but I have the deck tan and the buff. So that like muted kind of tan.
A beautiful color.
Yeah, I was like, is it going to be? But no, it looks pretty fucking good so far. So yeah, I'm going to be combining those colors and going for kind of like a desert chic kind of scheme.
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm probably going to try and start snapping this together as soon as possible. What?
Brennan, are you trying to do like a camouflage type pattern?
No, I think I'm going to go flat with this one. No, I think I'm going to go flat with this one. Mostly tan, some accents in the blue. Probably get the visor in the blue. I don't know yet. Oh, and I have panel liner too to fuck with. Black panel liner.
Nice.
That's why I was, when you said you were opening your box that you just got and you were like, oh, gloss. And I was like, fuck, I forgot to get the gloss. So I might have to still pick that up to try and like, I don't know. I haven't really panel lined over acrylics before, but from what I've heard, it's better to gloss it.
Coat it.
Yep.
With the gloss. Mainly that gloss top coat does it helps it run a little bit better through the panel lines.
Yeah, like you don't need the gloss, but the gloss will help it run across the plastic, across the part.
Yeah, that's what I figured. So I'm probably
to clean up easier too.
Yeah, I know. I won't have to wait quite as long, but yeah.
And then, but you definitely, I mean, not that you definitely, but after that, you probably want to give it a flat coat to kind of like kill that gloss. And like, you know,
that's I don't know. I'm on that semi gloss kick lately. I'm loving
it. But yeah, I'm stoked to see everybody's kits. I don't know what Scott has planned. He said he was going to get an Alto and a Portanova and bash them. So
that was my original idea.
See what happens with that.
Still got an extra Alto here.
Yeah, but that's cool because at least he's doing something with the Portanova and yet also doing something different, you know? Like we're all doing Portanovas in some capacity, but all doing something totally different, which is cool.
Totally. So there you have it. G-Side's 30-minute mission, official announcement. Happened here on the first episode of G-Cast. Look forward to it. It's going to be awesome. Well, you'll see like little sneak peeks and work in progress leaks here and there, but try and save most of it for the reveal late summer. So
sounds good.
Yeah.
All right.
Plenty of time to make them beautiful. So
or build them completely, hate it, and then start over.
You got enough time for that. If that's what you want to do.
That's not what I want to do, but that's what I might have to do.
Like plenty of time for mistakes and recoveries. So, I mean.
Yeah. The only other factor is how long this quarantine lasts for, but it seems like we might be light at the end of the tunnel, but who knows? These things are unpredictable.
Yeah, I agree.
Exactly. Hey, and if we gotta present them in this format, that's what we'll do. That's what we are here to do, is to help you guys through this stuff by bringing you content. So
it also helps keep us sane.
Yeah,
and more importantly, it keeps us sane.
I mean, we talked about it briefly in the Discord, but creating this content, getting the kind of reaction we have lately, it's gone a long way. It's meant so much to all of us, you know. So We appreciate you guys watching. We appreciate you guys subscribing and talking to us in the live streams. That's been a lot of fun recently.
Yeah.
And we want to do it more. So yeah, keep coming.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Any other updates? Any other G-Sides news? Anything general anyone wants to put out there before we wrap up this first episode? I was thinking you might do that.
That's a master grade Barbatos.
Yeah,
man,
Greg.
it's beautiful.
Greg built a gunpla.
Just finished, totally finished snapping up this guy. Got the weapons loaded up on the back. Look at how crazy this guy looks all loaded up. Like I was goggling over him with just a frame, like naked Barbatos. And now that I've got all the armor on him, I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, really amazing.
Check one up.
I was recording some stuff for the vlog, so you can see it this Friday. But yeah, pretty much my consensus is if you love Barbatos and you love Master Grades, you have to get this. So yeah, that's that. And I'll be doing a paint job on this probably shortly after the 30-minute missions stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I just got this airbrush compressor in, and I got my supplies, so should be cranking out a lot more painted kits in the near future, and I'm looking forward to bringing those for you guys, sharing my work for sure.
Cool.
All the kits. I got plenty of stuff in the works too. So
yeah.
More painted kits from G-Sides, that's for sure.
Yeah,
that's it. Gonna keep bringing it.
Yep. And then, of course, more games. Gonna finish Final Fantasy. I'm gonna switch over, I think, to my save file next time.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get a platinum on that game. I'm only like 5 trophies away. Of course, they're the most pain in the ass ones there are, but
let's go.
I'm gonna probably go for that. I just got to beat hard mode, get all the dresses, and
hard mode run.
That's pretty much it, I think.
Hard mode run.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm actually, it's ironic. I'm at basically the point we were at in our playthrough in my hard mode run. So it only kind of makes sense to just pick it up right there.
I think that's perfect. Do you think we'll switch over to that this Friday?
Sure, yeah. I'm gonna upload the other game we've been playing, obviously, is Jedi Fallen Order. I'm gonna upload that one probably in the next couple of days. The most recent playthrough. For now, the archive is still on YouTube, and I think it's still stuck on Twitch. But I'm gonna cut together the higher quality upload and upload that coming in the next couple days. This is going to go up in the next couple days, so they'll probably end up around the same time.
Let's do. Why don't we play one more round of Jedi Fallen Order just to like wrap up our Let's Play on it if people want more. But like, so we can set the part 2 stream Jedi Fallen Order for Friday. We'll schedule that. Then we'll play more. We'll follow up with a stream same day.
Yeah.
So we can kind of plug the video right there. And then maybe even earlier next week, or like we can come in with Final Fantasy. So
yeah,
come in on a Monday or Tuesday with Final Fantasy.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll move on with that because I do want to get through that. I want to see more of the like later game stuff. I want to see stuff for like throwing buildings and shit. So
careful, spoilers.
Yeah.
I mean, the ending of that game is something we definitely have to get to because I want to talk about it really badly. Not that I can't do that. I was thinking of doing just a spoiler cast video myself at some point because when I beat that, I was like, what? So I'd like to express that openly on the internet.
Definitely. We'll definitely do a spoiler cast on that. And we're also going to be in the near future doing a couple more podcasts, one of which being exclusively about anime. So
yes, we need to talk about anime.
Weebs Rejoice, more anime and otaku related stuff.
More anime. We've had like no anime so far. You guys know we like anime? We watch anime.
We watch anime a lot.
Probably too much, yeah. I walked in the room last night and Carol was watching Bleach and I was like, are you watching Bleach again? Like, why are you watching?
I thought you were gonna say
and then I got sucked into it. No, but she's told me repeatedly to watch that, and I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, you watch a lot of anime when you start watching BeatStars. So
yeah.
Join us on that episode of Gcast where we talk about BeatStars and other anime.
Yeah, Bestiality Stars.
Well, that's definitely on my list.
It's kind of that. What?
BeatStars. Not the thing.
I want to get Scott in on that too, because he seems to watch like the most random older anime all the time. Gosh. That just is like, I remember him coming up to me one day and be like, so I just watched this really weird anime called The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. And I was like, dude, you don't even watch anime. And all of a sudden you're watching, like, I mean, he does, but like only very rarely and the most random stuff.
It's super obscure stuff that no one's ever heard about. So.
Man, it's the gems. It's the gems, man.
Yeah.
No, Scott's a gem. Scott's a gem.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we try and get him into some more Let's Plays, because, I mean, he's just the crazy, weird X factor that always... If anyone's going to get us demonetized, it's going to be him. I always say that. But, it's fun, too. If you want to see him and I... our younger selves playing stuff, I uploaded some of the archives from back in the day when him and I were playing games.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Definitely check them out.
A little more unhinged, a little more immature, but, it is what it is.
Before we go, I'm just going to actually hop on over to our YouTube and take a look at our videos, see how they're doing. We'll do a quick little recap.
1193.
Yeah, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is taken off. And yeah, like Greg said, we're super appreciative of that. We're happy everyone cares to check out New Game, New Journey Plus with us. Yeah, mixed feelings on that, but I mean, New Journey Plus.
But we're definitely glad you're here. You appreciate other, if you want to see more content, just make sure you're subbing and doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
All that goodness helps us out. For real, we put a lot of work into this stuff. Takes a lot of time out of our days, takes us away from our significant others. But we love it. We love making this content. We love talking to you guys. We love making model kits and playing video games and talking about it. So we want to do more. So subscribe, head to our Patreon, head to our social medias. Everything is down below, like literally right there, like everything right there. So yeah.
Oh yeah, it is right there. I forgot it was right there.
It's always there.
Yeah, it's there. It's also in the description. Links in the description.
And don't forget, when you subscribe, to put the bell on so you get the notifications for every time we post.
Every video, you're the one that does that.
Nobody can say that but Bobby. Like, that's just Bobby's line.
That's why I was laughing.
Bell on.
Get the
Bobby,
bell.
you got to remind everybody about the bell. But only after somebody tells somebody to suggest to subscribe.
Yeah. Okay, so I won't even say it. I was going to reiterate, but...
Yeah. But we're all on the same page there.
Bobby's just got to be like, ding!
And I'm going to get a bell, like fucking Jacksepticeye.
All right. No, seriously. That was a lot of fun. We talked about the PS5 tech demo from Unreal. We talked a lot about it, and what that really means for the coming generation.
I'm real excited about that.
We talked about Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake coming from Vicarious Visions. Talked about, there it is right there. More baby, the classic. We talked about our upcoming 30-minute missions build off, and we capped it off with quick shout out to Master Dre Barbatos because he's so fucking cool. All right.
All right then. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Pretty inclusive. I think you hit everything. I think we hit everything. And we'll never need to do another one of these again. That's good.
Nope. Might as well just jump off my ledge now.
Yeah. Nailed it. All right. I can't think of anything else.
It's all good.
Thanks everybody. We'll see you next time for the next Gcast.
See you on Friday for a stream. Woo!